Brother Gary, could you touch on your feeling when you were late Monday night, early Tuesday? You had told me you had gut-wrenching pain, almost the verge of tears when you saw the violence, what they did to the city, under the guise of a protest.
Absolutely. And, you know, I had made a few calls to some officials and let them know what was going to happen, because that's my duty as an American, to protect my city. And what it does, it makes the image of people look bad. So I didn't want that. We already under scrutiny as an African-American male. The images across America have been really brutal for African-Americans across this nation. I want to show an image of me and my culture of people that we're not about that. So I was crying when I saw it. I just think I had two parts where I understand, but I don't understand the violence and the construction and deconstruction of what's going on and why we have to come to this point in America, across the nation. So.
Is Washington partnering today with the organizers of today's protest, or are you taking a back seat?
We're going to take a back seat because we don't know the backgrounding of what they're doing, and if we did, our staff probably would have informed, you know, to let us know and inform us that we can participate in that, but we have no idea about that.
Brother Gary, how would you try to take this moment and move forward? What will the specific, I understand the general goal of making change, making improvement, but what will the specifics be going forward for how you and other activists will try and put that into effect, if my question is clear?
Well, we got to come with an action plan, for one. That means we have to have, you know, you guys involved, Gina involved, the state involved, other organizations that's positive, that's involved to make change. This is a joint effort, not just Brother Gary. So I want to take full responsibility for action across Rhode Island about anything that has to do with African-American education or the economic gap. I want to understand this is the problem where we can't be divided in any shape or form, because we've seen the division in history and what it does. Yeah.
Brother Gary, can you touch on what does it mean to you, everything you've been through, your family, and here you are standing up here in 2020 with the governor of the state on the short list for vice president with candidate Biden. But what does it mean to you with everything you've been through, from justice, the struggle that you've been on?
I just want to say I stayed positive. I know things wasn't right. I'm always positive no matter what, and optimistic as well. But, you know, I know in my heart that some good was going to come out of it. So I prayed and I made sure that there's no negative thoughts about the impact that we're going to make one day. And I appreciate everybody that played the effort as well.
What's the significance of the governor standing here and saying Black Lives Matter?
Well, Black lives do matter. Black lives matter all around the world. We just haven't been heard. And we know, to the Caucasian brothers, all of them don't mean any harm. It's almost what happened 500 years ago. We're just trying to change the impact. What we must do is stay positive and work together. So. Well, there's a few that we looked at. Me and Gina talked about a couple that we're going to be looking at in the future. So I would love to be, you know, on some training of, you know, on policing, not to police officers, but just to understand and work and fix that problem that's been going wrong in the whole system of the police departments and different agencies around this country. So.
Katie, could you have a little bit further about the law enforcement officers' bill of rights in Rhode Island? The way that the law currently exists, it would seem that if what happened in Minneapolis happened here, that officer would not have been fired under Rhode Island.
Right. Let me just say this.
Go ahead.
Let me just say, yeah. Okay. I just want to say this, that I want to stick to George Floyd was probably the iceberg, right? That was probably something was going to happen anyway. You know, it was just so much history of violence coming from police officers where the training is imperative to understand the dynamics that the history of policing, right? Because you have the police department, you have the training tactics, and sometimes these young officers, they don't really see, like, they don't study hard enough, I don't think. Not all of them, but I really don't think they understand the job that they supposed to secure.
Yeah. I think it's time for change. So I know that Rep. Williams yesterday, to her great credit, drew attention to it, and I hope she stays on that path. It's a law. The legislature has to look at it and pass a law. Get it to my desk. It's time for change. So let's review it and let's make it better. Did you have a follow-up?
Oh, I was asked whether you're seeking more training for police,
Yes, it's going to be more excessive training for communities to get involved with, to make sure that, you know, even if they have a evaluation, more like a psychic evaluation around the country, to make sure that sometimes they come to the cracks. And what I mean is it could be from white supremacy to, you know, the KKK, the Nazis, whatever. You know, we want to make sure that the backgrounding is more trainable, where you can see that there's a problem. From the FBI, the CIA, we want to make sure that the citizens are going to be okay. Because again, we want to have this relationship to make sure that, because we're about the citizens. So that's a part of the citizens of the United States. We have to make sure our citizens are safe.
For the governor, if I may, we've had some questions by legislators today about the barricades across the south front of the State House. So what can you tell them about that?
Yes, so as I say, throughout all of this, we are working for the best but planning for the worst. It is our expectation that today's protest will be peaceful. There are a number of protests, a number of different groups, and we expect that they will be peaceful. Having said that, we are prepared, particularly if, when the sun goes down, we see folks coming here to want to act violently. We are ready, we are surveilling, and we will hold them accountable if they engage in any kind of violence. So I have been working very closely with Colonel Manny at the State Police, General Callahan at the National Guard, the folks here, the fantastic leadership of Providence Police, and they have a plan. These barricades are part of the plan. There's gonna be security. People should expect to see security today. If they're out and about, you may be hearing the helicopters from the National Guard throughout the state. I believe it's what's necessary to enable peaceful protest and keep Rhode Islanders safe.
To follow up on Madeline's question, if I might, can you envision changes to police practices, procedures, and so on?
I think body cameras are on the table. I agree with Gary around better training, more training. It's just time to look at more diversity in hiring. I was proud to be the governor who oversaw the most diverse new class of Rhode Island State Police ever. But that's just a beginning. We have to continue to move forward, making sure that we do our best to recruit and train and retain and promote people of color in our police force. So there's no one thing. And look, racism and injustice have existed in our country for hundreds of years. So there's not going to be one silver bullet, but we got to stay at it. And I will say, like, we're not new. I'm not new to this work. I didn't just wake up today and say this. We've been pushing with criminal justice reform. With the Promise Scholarship, we've seen a 5 times increase in graduation rate at CCRI, people of color, pushing to raise the minimum wage, pushing to make housing more affordable, pushing, but clearly we have so much more work to do, and the same in criminal justice. So I think there are steps we can take to make the law more fair, to make a more diverse force, to have better training. And I mean, he's exactly right. We need an action plan. My hope is that this is a new era of change, and we get an action plan, and we get behind it, and we make some things better and different.